Right, I'm back doing another quick commentary for you. I had to speak again just because I was listening to the radio again, reading news articles, and now all of a sudden today, it seems like there's a lot of uproar over what's happened, yet the same sort of apologist voices are out there. Um, Everyone in the mainstream seems to be fairly happy because, hey, the cop's been suspended now, and a thorough investigation is in order because the SIU and police investigation teams who investigate their own typically take those investigations very seriously. That kind of came out poorly there. That was supposed to be a facetious statement, because they don't really take it that seriously. I heard, Christie and a few other people again on the CFRB commentary that they were saying, oh, this is going to be an expeditious sort of turn to justice here. They're going to get to the facts and the information quickly. They're going to act on it, and they're going to come to the right decision. But as we've seen in the past, typically that doesn't happen. So what people need to do is keep talking about it. The thing about these issues of the moment are that this is going to get press time for a few days, maybe a week. Then you'll get trickle down articles in the future, but the overall uproar and the overall public acknowledgement will decrease, and that is a disservice to all of us, not just the 18-year-old Sammy, but to every one of us, because it increases our risk in the future as well. So I think what I'm trying to say is we should really keep focusing on this. I don't think marching is going to have much of an impact, and I'm not going to call those marchers a lynch mob either, because last time I checked, the only one that's dead here is the 18-year-old and not any of the police officers or anything. So I don't know how you being the media, can refer to these people marching over the shooting as a lynch mob, because it's obviously not the case, and we don't want to over dramatize it. Another thing I'm not a big fan of is that all of the articles now are slanted towards the emotional aspects. We've taken Sammy too soon. Shame. It is a shame that one young boy lost his life, but I'm looking more at the overall impact to society, and I'm not trying to rile people up and get them out there, get retribution for Sammy. He does deserve justice, but the fact of the matter is that this is bigger than just him. And I hate to say that to his family as well, but we need to make sure this doesn't happen to anybody else. And I think the majority of people agree with this, but based on the mainstream media and what you hear, it sounds like, they really want everyone to calm down, and they know what will happen. People will forget, and this will get slid under the rug. As it stands now, the SIU, I don't know the exact figures, but it's some obscene number of cases they've looked over, and I think only 3 have been charged. So the rates there are less than 0.5%. I think less than 0.1%, whereas for the general population, the rates are much higher. And like many statistical anomalies, there usually is some indicator of why that is the case. And I mean, most people would assume, again, I don't have facts right here, but most people would assume that high charge rate but low conviction rate of the SIU would indicate that cops are colluding, they're not giving correct testimony, and we're not getting the justice that is deserved for our society. So we really need to keep on this. That's the major issue here. And I don't want to bring this over to this emotional debate about Sammy. We really just need to focus on the facts here. And I saw some new video yesterday, and now the cop was yelling, drop the knife, drop the knife. I think he told him, if you step 1 foot forward, you're dead. Not the best threat, especially when you kill someone, by the way, police. You shouldn't threaten them with death. But, tell them to drop the gun or you'll shoot. That's at least descriptive enough. In this case, though, you could see him pacing back and forth, and he made a slight movement towards the front again, and bang, 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 the suspect was dropped. And then bang, 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 bang. Not sure why those other 6 shots were fired. But again, that's the real question here. Are they trigger happy? Is this, this obviously was not appropriate force. I don't think anyone can argue that, even if Sammy, had a gun, as many have said. And the fact is, if he had a gun, we'd know about it. Police aren't going to keep that under wraps. If they had that information to make them look better, they would release it. That's the way these investigations work. They typically release information that helps them and don't release information that hinders them until everyone's forgotten about it in the future. So, you know, telling everyone to calm down and wait until this is properly investigated is not really understanding the emotion of the moment, especially from people within, minority communities who see this and automatically think, the police, they're going to target me, they're going to kill me. There's a lot of people, I don't personally think that, but there's a lot of people out there who genuinely fear, police because they see them and they're literally like, oh my God, I could get killed. They're from countries where police are a lot more violent than they typically expect in a country like Canada. Yet we're seeing more and more issues like this. Police getting off scot-free from beatings, shootings that aren't properly investigated. So really what I want to focus on here is make sure we get a proper investigation. Because if we do not get an investigation, we won't get the facts. And the fact of the matter is that the SIU, even if they do a proper investigation, probably won't release most of those facts to us, which is, stupid. There should be motions in place, black out some names in some cases if you're really worried about people going after the cops. But the SIU should be providing this information, full investigatory details about the situation and about how they came to their conclusions. Again, this shouldn't be some behind the blue wall, right? This should be right in front of our eyes. These shouldn't be secret proceedings. These should be open proceedings between us, our government, the SIU. It's not a negotiation per se, but everyone should know what's going on. That's really what it comes down to. So really the gist of it here, though, from what everyone's seen, is really, was the officer warning Sammy, was it enough justification for shooting him? Even if he did warn him properly, really, as many have speculated online, there's buttons on these streetcars that you could reach and press, and that would lock down the streetcar. It would give you a lot more time. It would give you a lot more options because you'd have more options as well. And if you see the secondary video, you'll notice that there's a cop sneaking up around the back of the streetcar. Why didn't they wait for one of them at least to try to board the bus and get a clear, straight shot down the aisleway at the suspect? They just seemed to react far too quickly. This seemed very rushed. There were no tasers on hand. There were no negotiating crews on hand. Obviously, this was rushed. So for anyone to say that everything looks, okay here is wrong. There's obviously something wrong. Now, I'm not saying get the officer, but we do need to investigate and don't let up. People really need to look into this. And just remember, the only person that's dead so far is the 18-year-old. Okay, no police have been hurt. No police were even threatened. These are guys who were taking on a knife-wielding suspect, half their size. They all have bulletproof vests. They have backup because there's so many of them there. Again, I don't want to get back to this movie thing, but you got to expect, I really do expect a little bit more bravery in some cases from our police. And, we should expect more from them. I don't expect them to just shoot somebody the first instinct of fear, because everybody gets scared. Police are only human, but they need to be trained better than the average person so that this type of thing does not happen again in the future. Now, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll try to come back to you with some more of this in the future.